Hi friends, I'm Felicia. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm trying a bit of a different angle because the window is in front of my face now instead of hitting me from the side. So we'll see how this works. I think it looks a little bit weird, but whatever, we're just gonna go with it. So today I'm gonna just go through my March wrap up. And this April has been a little bit crazy for me so far. On the 4th, my grandma passed away, and so this last week has been very family oriented. She was 93. She was not in good health for the last few years, and she just really wanted to go home to Jesus already. So it'll be sad here without her, but she's in a better place and she's happy. So yeah, it's good, I guess. I know that probably sounds weird to non-Christians, but to Christians, like, it's good. It's fine. So, but yeah, so this last week has been very just family coming out for the funeral and everything. So we've been spending a lot of time with them while they're here. But yeah, I finally have a chance to sit down and film my wrap up. So that's what I'm going to do. So the first book that I technically finished in March was The Masqueraders, but I talked about that in my February wrap up. So then the next book that I finished is Book Love by Debbie Tongue. And I read her other book previously this year, and I kept calling her Bonnie Tongue, and I don't know why. Her name is Debbie. Anyways, so I picked this up and immediately read it at the beginning of March. And like, look at this. Look at this. But if you're not, you're probably familiar with her comics. They're on Twitter or on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere. And this is just a collection of moments that book lovers can relate to. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I would very much recommend it to anyone that loves books. Storm, what are you doing? What are you eating? Get off of there. What are you doing? What are you nuzzling? What do you have? I have some makeup brushes on my desk that don't spark joy, so I'm gonna get rid of them. And Storm is just nuzzling them. She is so weird. The next book that I read was When a Jew Rules the World by Joel Richardson, and he came to my church a couple years ago and preached, and I bought this book then when he was visiting, and it's signed. And basically in this book he just kind of talks about what the Bible says about Israel, and like there's movements of people who think that Christians have replaced Israel as God's people when that's not what the Bible says, and he just kind of talks about that. Talks about the history of the oppression and I don't know what the word is, but like oppression and stuff of the Jews, and like even how the Holocaust didn't come out of nowhere, like those ideas of how Hitler talked about the Jews. That was actually like common belief for hundreds of years, which was a surprise to me. I didn't know that. But yeah, it was very interesting. I enjoyed it. It was very well written, and yeah, I mean, maybe this might be a controversial book, but I definitely agreed with everything it said, so it's good. Then I read 2 books by Sarah Anderson, Adulthood is a Myth, and Big Mushy, what is it? Big Mushy Happy Lump. I picked those up from the library, but I had to bring them back already, and yeah, again, like, you've seen Sarah Scribbles on Instagram and stuff, and I just really enjoy her comics, so yeah, I enjoyed them. Okay, then the next book that I read was The Missing Manuscript of Jane Austen by Siri James, and this is actually a novel within a novel. So we start off with a woman who is I guess a scholar, loves Jane Austen, and she finds a previously undiscovered letter from Jane Austen, which hints to a lost manuscript, and so she tries to see if she can find this lost manuscript, and it's a novel within a novel, so she does, end up finding it, and then most of the book is actually that lost Jane Austen novel, and then kind of ends with like or whatever. I don't want to spoil the whole book, but that's kind of where we go. So it's this Jane Austen novel within this other novel, and I actually really enjoyed the Jane Austen novel more than the other part of the story. It actually did feel like Jane Austen, and I very much enjoyed the story. And I got lots of feelings like I get when I read Pride and Prejudice and Northanger Abbey. So that was like surprising. I didn't think I would like that much, but I did very much enjoy it. So if you're a Jane Austen fan, I would recommend this. The audiobook is good. It's narrated by Justine Eyre, who is she's pretty prolific audiobook narrator. But yeah, so I would recommend this if you like Jane Austen books. It was fun. There was a trope in here, one of my least favorite tropes of, do I want to say what it is? Nah, I won't say what it is, but you can ask me about it if you read it and stuff. Last book that I read in March was The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. And I actually have never read this book. I know I saw the movie as a kid, like once, and I've never read this book, and so I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's very, very cozy and comforting and whimsical. Yeah, I enjoyed it. If you don't know what The Secret Garden is about, it's about a girl who becomes orphaned in India and has to go live with her uncle in England, and she starts off very spoiled and mean, and through going out in nature, she becomes a lovely person. So that's kind of the gist of it. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was very cute. I kind of buddy read it with my friend Callie, but I may have left her behind. We haven't been chatting about it. Sorry. Maybe I'll have to message you with my feelings about it. But yeah. So those are the books that I read in March, and now, yeah, in April I'm taking part in the Magical Owls Readathon, if you didn't see my TBR for that. And so far my reading is going very well. We're halfway through the month, and I will at least complete a few professions. I'm going for Hogwarts professor. That's what I decided. Simply because I want to read lots of books. I want to get lots of those books off of my TBR shelf. So that's kind of what I'm going for. So that's all that I have for today. So if you have any thoughts about these books, leave them down below in the comments. And until next time, so long and thanks for all the fish.